entrepreneur, the founder of PlayDoh, and is an empowered woman. Her willingness to give back, eagerness to do good, and ability to persevere are just some of the many factors that make her the inspiring person that she is today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of In Love with Me, where we feature inspiring individuals who will share their amazing stories. I am your host, Mafe Yunan Velasco, and for this series, our topic is owning your own craft. So, this season, we aim to highlight game changers who continuously own their craft and share their gifts with the world in hopes of making it a better place. So joining us today is a game changer herself, more ways than one. Let's welcome Melissa Haque. Hi, Melissa, how are you? I'm sorry, did I pronounce that correctly? I should have asked you offline.
So close. It's hard. Look, I'll take it. All good. But yeah, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. And that intro was just so super cute. Made my heart warm when I saw the photo of my daughter and I. Oh, I love that one.
Well, that's how we want to honor you. And thanks to the team, we love putting, a little surprise for you before you hop on. So, as you guys can see, a beautiful woman right here. And for the ones that don't know you yet, Melissa, can you share a little bit of your background, who you are, and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So, probably one of the biggest things, first and foremost, I'm a mum of two little ones, and they have absolutely the journey of motherhood has inspired me to start and kind of grow the business that I have. So I'm the chief and founder of a business called PlayDoh, and PlayDoh is a PlayDoh, but it's really nothing like the one that you probably already know. So it's specifically been developed to be soft enough for little hands, and it doesn't dry out and lasts a really long time. It's a really beautiful product, which I originally created for my daughter. So that's why that photo that came up, I just love that one. I'm also I'm a career marketer, so I've done 15 years in corporate marketing, and other than that, I love to speak. I love to be out there and join beautiful women like Mafe today, and also we just launched another really beautiful book called Courage and Confidence. So I'm really excited to add author to my title now as well.
Well, as you guys can see, another amazing woman on In Love with Me series. And I do want to touch on your beautiful baby that you created during this challenging time. You know, offline, we were talking about it's been 3 years only, right? And it's been such an amazing success. So let's go back to PlayDoh, because there's a lot of women, even moms, that want to start a business, but it's like in their mind, how the heck am I going to do that? Like, how do I even start? So I know you said that you wanted to create something for your daughter, but what else? Where did you start? How did it even begin?
And it's one of those things, and you know what, when you say how the heck did you start, you know what, it's so overwhelming thinking about starting a business. And it's obviously it's something that we've spent a bit of time, yourself included, thinking about lately, as we both authored the chapter of this beautiful book that we've collaborated together in. And one of the biggest things that really kind of stuck home to me, which was probably one of my which is something that's really egged me on the whole journey, is that to start a business, you need to make sure it really lights you up. You get excited about it, whatever it is. And because of that, it was kind of how I ended up launching my business. So back to the start, where I was a mum. My daughter Ruby was just over 2, and I also had a newborn. You would know what it's like juggling multiple children. I've only got 2, so I've got it easy. Well, sorry, shouldn't say that. It's not easy for anyone out there. But so it's one of those things. And my daughter Ruby just loved PlayDoh, and she was at that age where they just become obsessed with it. And the thing was that my newborn wasn't, he was one of he was one of those nightmare babies. I say quietly because I know you know what I mean. And any mums out there, like, you know, if you don't have one yourself, you've got a friend who's had one. Like, they're around. Anyway, he is the most beautiful boy, but he didn't sleep. He just wanted cuddles the whole time. And it was really hard. It was a hard life at the start. And so I came out of being this like corporate worker, and suddenly I was home, you know, again doing my leave after I had another baby, and my 2-year-old who needed to do activities all the time, and I had to keep her busy to be, you know, keep her sane. And I also had to like just constantly and never sleep and look after my newborn. And I found that the Play-Doh that we had that Ruby constantly played with was just, it was too tough for her hands, and it just kept drying out. And, you know, it sounds like such a little thing, but I think in that moment, in that time I was in, where maybe I hadn't slept for days, maybe I hadn't showered in twice as long, and who knows what I looked and smelt like. And, you know, like my husband was only there at night because he was out working, and I just needed a bit of space. And I just, Plato was kind of doing it, but not really doing it, because I had to constantly help her play with it. And I just didn't have the hand for it. So I kind of jumped online and I looked as hard as I can for something else that, you know, I knew would just entertain her and keep her busy and engaged, but there was nothing. And I just thought, you know what, bugger it. There's got to be something else out there. It's got to be something better. And when I couldn't find it, I decided to create it for myself. Not because I probably had all this extra time on my hands at the time, but because it just was one of those things that we needed. And like I needed to do something with my mind as well. So I came up with this new Play-Doh recipe, which was just so soft that she would sit there for like an hour engaged in play at 2 years old, which is, you don't get that from young kids ever. And, you know, it was colored and scented, and it was like a sensory explosion. And what it meant for me is it actually gave me time to kind of sit and, you know, nurse my newborn or get him to sleep and do all those things, all that stuff he required of me. And I knew that she was happy and engaged in you know, a play, for instance. So it felt like Wilder came from a place of need as, like, I guess, like a mum and a child in our relationship. But in all seriousness, I always think of Wilder as something for the mums. You know, it's because what it gave me an extra set of hands, it gave me some space. So back to the point of, you know, does it light you up? Well, the Play-Doh is amazing. I love Wildo. The kids love it, but the essence of it lighting me up is I just love the fact that I was able to then turn this into a business and be able to give other mums out there just that little bit of space, the space that you just need, the sort of space that, you know, you hide in the cupboard to eat something or do something, that all these crazy things we do all the time. Which everybody does, or you sit that a little bit longer in the car when you're not meant to, or whatever it is. That, like, I felt that Wilder gave that to my family, and that's why I started a business, because I'm super passionate about being able to pass that on and give other mums that tiny bit of space, like that, take a breath, enjoy a hot cuppa for once, or whatever it might be. It's the hardest job in the world, being a mum. Like, I would work 2-3 full-time jobs before having to choose being full-time, stay at home all the time, because it is so difficult. And I think all mums deserve that little bit of space if they can get it. So that's where my passion lies, and that's why I love the fact that I can bring such a great product that really helped me, and I can take it to other families. So I'm really passionate about that piece of it, which is, again, why, you know, where do you start? What do you do? Well, you can jump online and Google a heap of cool stuff and figure out what the hell to do. You read great books like ours, and you go and get all the tips, and you just have a crack and start it. And, you know, there's no such thing as failure. You know, if you really have passion for it, you'll make it work. And that's just how it goes. And that's what I've been able to do. And I'm just so excited and humbled that I've been able to, I guess, grow my business so quickly and be able to kind of share this product with so many families. So I know there's like kids out there engaging in like fabulous creative play, and at the same time mums are having that big deep breath that they might have needed at the time. So I love that I can help families have that moment.
I love it.
Cindy.
Well, I have to give a shout out to our fellow co-authors, Peace. Hi, Peace, and Vanessa, Dr. Vanessa. And as you guys can hear it, the reason why Melissa here has courage and confidence is because she wanted to take care of herself, first and foremost, her fellow moms, and of course, the children, to also give them happiness. But at the end of the day, I love hearing your journey. I know it takes a lot of energy to take care of children. And on top of that, your children were in the most needy time of their lives, and you were even able to build Wild Dough. So Wild Dough, why the name Wild Dough?
um, it's just like it just popped into my head one day, the word wild, and I couldn't get it out of my brain. And I just kept thinking about like wildly imaginative play, like just wildly imaginative. I just kept thinking that, when kids play, like it doesn't have to be neat and tidy. And when they do, it doesn't have to be in a specific way. It should be wild. It should be wherever it leads them. And, the imagination is endless. So I just felt like, it just really resonated with me and really resonated with the way I think that, they should play and how they can play with my dough as well. So it was such a simple thing at the end. It's literally dough with wild on it. And, I love it. I still love it today. And I think I always will. I've never had a regret with that name.
Amazing. And I'm pretty sure you have, like, we just showcase all the different colors, right? And for me, it's so beautiful to see the end product or the finished product. Is there other products and services that Wildo will provide maybe in the near future or now?
Yeah.
Is there something brewing?
Absolutely. So, we started with a really basic range of some of like the rainbow classic colors. And then we brought out a new range, we have like a glitter collection, which is just, beautiful and adds a whole nother dimension to PlayDoh. We have actually just on Thursday, so in a couple of days' time, we're launching a brand new collection. We haven't had new colors launch in like a whole year. So it's actually called Wild Garden Collection, and a sneak peek is going to all of our subscribers tonight, actually. So it's just this beautiful, like I just imagine that it's just like a like kind of like the secret garden. There's like wildflowers growing and lots of greens and everything. And it's a very beautiful, kind of subtle collection. It's not pastel per se, but it's just like really subtle colors, which is quite different from what we usually do. And then later in the year, we have like a whole horde of brand new products coming, which is really exciting. So after July, we should have like a complete collection of, things to do, the tools and other items that go with the dough that we actually will be releasing, which we're developing at the moment, which is pretty exciting.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a, we started from humble beginnings, and we started with 8 colors, and, now we have 20 plus colors, and so many things we stock, and so many beautiful businesses that we work with, and, we stock their products and they stock ours and whatever else as well. So it's one of those things that I think, back to your first question of, where do you start? I think it's, you just start small, and it grows.
Yeah.
And look at businesses that are out there today that have the whole kit and caboodle per se, because we still don't have it right now. I have all these dreams of where we'll get to eventually, and it just takes time, and it takes time and investment, and especially if you're juggling lots of other things, and you can't always do everything right now today at once. Like, I really wish I could. My to-do list is about 3 years long, but that's okay. That's part of the journey, and part of acknowledging, what do we do now? Where can we get to? Where will it take us? And kind of building on that.
And I just want to add to that, because of course everything that we build, or every movement that we try to achieve, especially for you, for Wild Dough, what is that you hope to gain? Again, going back to, and sharing that word again, with your movement, with your brand. And you shared many things earlier, for yourself, for other moms, for other entrepreneurs, or even people, with children. And I just want to add there, guys, if you have any question mark on gift ideas, Melissa's right here. And later on, we'll find out where to find her. So going back, what do you hope to gain with your movement, with your brand, Wild Dough?
Yeah, look, I think that the vision is simple, and it's really just to spark imaginations and make learning fun for young kids out there, for all young kids. So in terms of where we're trying to go, we're really just working on, I guess, inspiring that creativity that can really be built upon and take them anywhere in life. So I love to think that we're a starting block to that, and can help lay some foundations.
And speaking of even going global, guys, we are also live, Melissa, on Kumu. It's the #1 live streaming app in the Philippines. So it's also global. So say good day to everyone there. And to know more about Kumu, let's just take a look at this real quick. So we'll be right back.
The social media world is a fast-paced international stage. But what if we told you there is one platform out there that puts Filipino voices first? That's right. Welcome to the community, the heart of the #1 Pinoy live streaming app, Kumu. With our users and members from across the globe, you can be assured that the community is a diverse, exciting collective championing Filipino culture, and we are thriving. What makes the community unique from all other social media communities? It's how we leverage innovative technologies to suit every Filipino's creative style, putting their voices first. Get in on the action with live streaming with our community. Learn from the best content creators where you watch the community stage, which hosts a variety of shows every single week. Too shy for the camera? No worries. We've got audio streaming for that. Don't want to do it alone? Easy. Have your barkada go live with you. Or maybe quick short videos are more your thing. We've got Kumu clips for that. Looking for your online tribe? We've got a lot of teams here in the community. Within the community, you can be guaranteed that we keep things positive, authentic, and fun. With Kumu moderators all over the app, we keep our commitment to make this platform a safe space for all. It's why we've been dubbed the Disneyland of social media. We make Kumu the funnest, best place to be for all. Sama all talaga. Be part of the community. Tara na sa Kumu, where authentic connections happen.
So welcome back, guys. As you can see, we have the beautiful founder and, of course, owner of Wild Dough. And as a entrepreneur, Melissa, I just want to go back to, of course, there are fun things that we come across as entrepreneurs. And it's just like being a mom. It's never the same, right? So what surprises you the most about being an entrepreneur?
What surprises me the most? Great question. I love the fact that it gives me flexibility. So, I mean, there's absolute truth in the fact that you probably work day and night when you're an entrepreneur. And even when you're not working, your brain is still ticking away at all the things that maybe you haven't done, all the things that you want to do, and all the things that you're, still, in the background thinking about, which you're going to lay plans for. And it never stops. And that's the beauty of it. But in saying that, it also gives us flexibility. So I just flew in this morning to visit my parents for a day, and I'll stay the night and I'll fly back tomorrow. And, I can still do all my work today here from wherever I am, as long as I have a laptop. So that's a really nice part of it, as well as I think the fact that you can really start shaping your business, shaping what you do to really lay the foundations to, I guess, write your own job description. What do you want to be? What do you want to do? Is your favorite thing the numbers and getting like down and dirty into that? Like it's definitely not that for me. I'm sure there's people out there who do that, but I love doing like the marketing piece of it. I love doing like pitching and sales and like talking to big business, and I love that piece. And one day maybe I'll have a very lot of staff somewhere, and I'm still always going to do that piece, or really like kind of get behind and keep doing that piece because I just love it. But it does allow us to, as our businesses grow, really start thinking about where do we want to spend our time, and whether it's because we bring value there or just because we have a passion to be part of that piece of it, or what do we what don't we want to do? Like I hate practical financial numbers. I hate bookkeeping and anything about that. So that was the first thing that I got off my desk. There's a lot of jobs I don't like doing, and so I have staff that do that. So that's also a really nice thing about being an entrepreneur. Like you really can just choose, not always and not at the start, but at a time you can start doing that. And I'd probably like another 5 people to get some other things I don't like doing off my desk right now, but but yeah, I just love that it allows us the ability to do what we want to do eventually.
And of course, there's many positive things, right? So what's the best thing so far that has been your favorite? I mean, that's happened to you for this year. I mean, we're only 3rd month of the year. What's the best thing? Which I know we're going to talk about anyway later.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, it allows us to meet a community of amazing business owners and amazing entrepreneurs, right? And I just love, and I'm a huge supporter of women supporting women and cheering on other women who are in business and doing like the thing, basically. And so, even for instance, us all collaborating in this beautiful book that we've just launched, as authors, there were 24 of us, and all of us, I was mentioning to some of the others who were in the book recently that we are all so different. We have such different stories. Like when you bring us together to be part of this huge collaborative book, we can share so much advice and share so many viewpoints, and there's really something for everyone. And the fact that we're all so different means that we can get something for, we can both give and get something, each of us as well, which is great for, in terms of coming together, but it's also great for our readers. But also, I guess, the fact that we're so different, but we're also so aligned in terms of, the stories we've shared and what we've done. And I can't believe that, one of the authors, she said, like, there's this phrase someone said to me once, and she wrote about it. And it's the exact same phrase that I wrote in my book, that, every time that I'm not sure if, I should have enough courage, like, I say this to myself. And, it was, the phrase is, what's the worst that can happen? And
Right.
I couldn't believe that, what we were all sharing was just so aligned, despite the fact that it was coming from so many different places and experiences as well. So I think that, from the start, being part of like the mum community of social media, as from Wild Doe to, now being part of this amazing entrepreneur community as well, that really is probably the best bit in terms of, I guess, the community it can bring when you put yourself out there.
True, so true. I mean, you have to take action. You can't just have all these ideas and then not try it, not have a lesson or an experience. Oh, okay, this is how I do things better, right? So again, going back, of course, now there's a lot of women out there, there's a lot of moms out there that want to start a business. I mean, where did you go apart from researching? Like, did you have mentors? Did you really invest? How would you guide them? Like, what are the top 3 things that they should already do?
Yeah, so I think for me, because I have such a strong marketing background, the piece of, how to sell and where to sell and how to put it together and how it should look and feel was came second nature to me. So that piece, which is, such a challenge for so many people, it wasn't that difficult for me at the start. So that really kind of put me in good stead. But in saying that, if it's not something you've got an experience in, I really think that's a great place to start. Go and find somebody, put yourself out there and find someone to talk to and work with. If you've got a favorite brand or, a brand that you're seeing doing great things, go and chat to the founder or the owner. I think that's probably like a big piece of advice in terms of, don't be afraid to ask and don't be afraid to essentially research. I ask so many what I always think are dumb questions, and that's like that's just who I am, and I always and will always be like that, because the amount of information that you get and you receive and what you learn when you do that is really second to none. And the fact that by just asking questions means people open up and they share with you as well. So you can learn so much just by asking a few questions, especially if it's coming from a place where you really are just there to learn, and you're respectful of their time and what they're sharing. But I think that piece was always great and easy for me. I think that back to what I said at the start about, you need to make sure it lights you up, like make sure you've got passion for what you're going to do. One of the things I love most about entrepreneurs is we never just have one idea. Like, if you're getting into the space, if you're thinking about starting a business, you know what, you really are, you're edging into the space that is, entrepreneurial. And guess what? No one out there who is in this space has ever just had one idea. So I think if you have an idea today, if you're thinking about it, you're not really sure, maybe it's not the one for you. Maybe it's the idea you'll have tomorrow, which is the one for you. So I think that's really important, because you know what, it is really hard in terms of the time and the effort you need to put into growing a business and running it. It does take, a bit of, not really, but like blood, sweat and tears in terms of like actually like, maybe not really the blood part, but, in terms of actually starting it up, it takes time and effort. So you do want to have passion for it, whatever it may be. And I think other than that, it's really about, and one of my biggest things also has always been about, just have the courage to make those decisions as well. And like I said, ask for help or ask questions of someone that you might be admiring, and, don't ask them to write an essay of how they've done it, but, ask a question here and there. I'm thinking about doing this. This is an idea. Do you have any feedback? Do you have an idea? Have a bit of courage to put yourself out there, whether it means asking a question of somebody that you don't really think that you would have done in the past, because, what's the worst that can happen? They might not reply or they'll say no. It's kind of, and also like think about like who you are and where maybe you can find some of that courage as well and that confidence. Is it just from within? Do you need to like get a team of you together to brainstorm? Is it just a cheer squad you have, your husband, wife, mum, dad, whatever it might be? Is it best friends, someone that you can really share with, and can they cheer you on? What do you need to help kind of push you along? And I think that's been a huge thing for me. I've had to make some really big, what felt like kind of like risky decisions. And I always come back to, who's in my corner? Are they cheering me on? Have I got a good sounding board out there? Are they really do I feel confident in what I'm doing? Have I thought about all of the, analyzed in terms of, what is the risk? Is it worth it or not? Or what's the worst going to happen if I can do this? So, I think that there's, besides all the whole, like, get the right website tech and all of this other stuff, which is operational, I think it's almost this, the piece that's really making sure that you're passionate about it, making sure that you put yourself out there, making sure that you're backing yourself. And if you have those things, then you know what? All the stuff like, how do I create a logo? How do I build a brand? How do I create a website? How do I, that stuff, I feel like that'll fall into place because you'll make that happen.
Yes, exactly. And I always share this. You're at the right place at the right time with the right people. But it starts with you, right? And so, I love mottos. I love quotes. So what would be your motto that you live by? If you have any. If so, what it is? What would it be? Or maybe a quote from the book that you love to share.
I think that one of the things I share in there, and it's something that I heard from a very old friend, and it's always really kind of resonated with me, is there's no such thing as failure. There's only success or a lesson. So, and I'm very much, I'm super fearful of failure. It's my personality. It's me. Everything I do, I want to just excel at all the time. So that's something that I always kind of like really like to remind myself of and lean into, the fact that, taking these risks and putting yourself out there and doing all these things, no one ever fails. It's sort of the some of the lessons that you make as you do it. And you know what, it may be just like what you said before, it's the moment where you are, and maybe it wasn't meant to be that time, but you'll get there in the end. So it's always, there's two outcomes of taking a chance. It's either it's successful or you have a really great lesson along the way. And I like to think that some of the things that have felt like it set me back at the time actually just probably put me on the right path I was meant to be on. So that's probably my biggest one.
And of course, Melissa, we're talking about owning your own craft. So how important is it for someone to own their own craft?
Oh, look, I think it's so important. I think it comes down to, if you're going to do it, be it, own it, celebrate you, really lean into it. Sometimes it's not easy to kind of decipher who we are and where we're going. And, I think that I'm still on that journey to kind of figure it out. But, where I am, and in terms of, my own craft, and now it's just really what I've got, I back myself for it, whether it's me working with another business who is, in the handmade space, something that, I've got a lot of experience in, or whether it's, Wilder, my beautiful product, like I am 100% behind it. I back it every time. And I really think that about, when it comes to, I guess, owning your own craft, it's really about celebrating you and celebrating what you have to offer, and don't hide behind it, I guess, and try and put yourself out there, which, doesn't happen overnight, but it's a good journey to be on for all of us, to keep doing it, trying to do it more.
Yes, I agree with Melissa. And just like that, of course, when you have fun, time flies. So before we wrap up, Melissa, I do have a fun activity that I do with all my guests, and I would love for you to be part of it. So it's just fast talk, finding your strengths. I was inspired by also another book, StrengthsFinder. So I just tweaked a little bit to make it fun. So I'll popcorn some questions to you, and the first thing that you
I'm nervous.
think of, no, they're really easy though. Don't worry. It's all
Okay.
about you anyway. So, okay. So the first question is, what was your dream job when you were a little girl?
Oh my gosh. So this is a funny one. I literally wanted to grow up and be a CEO. I didn't know how I was going to be it. I didn't know who I was going to be. I went to university to like, eventually I did all business subjects at school. I went to uni to study finance because I thought, all the biggest CEOs have a finance background.
Finance.
Absolutely hated it. Went into marketing and journalism and changed my path forever. But
Yeah.
I always wanted to own my own business. I used to tell my family I used to want to have enough money to have like a dishwasher and someone who cleaned, just
Yes.
someone who did all the things for me.
Yeah.
And I literally wanted to be a CEO, and I don't even think I knew what that was.
Wow.
But hey, start your own business and become one yourself.
Exactly. Amazing. Okay, next. What is your hidden talent?
I actually have this uncanny ability to be surrounded by like complete chaos in anyone else's eyes, whether it be like mess or just notes or whatever it is. And I always know where everything is at any one time. My husband hates it about me, but you name it, and I can tell you exactly where it was. Even if it's like the fifth thing under the pile over there in the drawer behind the cabinet, I'll still know where it is.
Hey, you're a CEO, so you can't complain. All right, so describe yourself in 3 words.
Loud. That's the first one that comes to mind. Cheery. I'm always smiley and cheery. And third word, that's dynamic.
Love it.
Maybe. Yeah.
All right. So of course you are in the business of colors. So what is your favorite color?
Yeah. I'm sure most people just spit a color out and they know what their favorite color is. My daughter says her favorite color is rainbow, which I just so appreciate because it means all of them.
Yeah. Yes.
I changed. Like I'm a lover of greens, but I've also been like a huge lover of like the oranges. So you know what? I don't really have a favorite. I have non-favorites, but anywhere in the anywhere on the rainbow spectrum, right there. Like I just love them. But my favorite is bright. None of this pastel colors. As long as it's bright, it's a favorite.
Wonderful. Okay, and then if you were, yeah, guys, just a plug. All right, if you were an art tool, what would you be?
Sorry, if I was a what?
Art tool.
Oh, I don't even know. What would you be?
I thought you were going to say Play-Doh or your Wild Dough.
Oh my God, I'm such a... Now who's a tool? For some reason I went to like a gallery and what? Play-Doh. I feel like a textured Play-Doh roll-up, which just looks amazing. Yep.
And of course, lastly, how do you treat yourself lavishly in terms of self-love?
Well, firstly, it's time not being mum, so away from the kids. As bad as that sounds, I'm pretty sure everyone can resonate out there if you are a mum. So time to myself, space to myself is what I really, really appreciate. Because I have one of my children thinks I'm a couch and will forever be on me, next to me, with me. So it feels lavish to think that I've got time just for me and no one else is around. And it will probably always include, some nice wine, maybe a pool as well. So just send me to an island anywhere in the Philippines will be fine.
Yeah.
Cocktails by the pool. I'm done.
Yeah, Baraka is waiting for you. But
more serious. Exactly, but more seriously, I think it's just time to myself more so. So whether it means, go to the hairdresser, or, you know, whether it's just, you know, a lengthy drive, a walk on the beach, or whatever it might be. It's just a little bit of space and time to myself. Feels kind of super lavish. Unless I'm at a 5-star resort, then that's probably a great thing to do.
Javi, are you listening? I think it's a hint. But anywho, thank you, Melissa, for joining in that quick getting to know you, rapid questions. Of course, please invite everybody how they can find you, what you have ongoing, and of course, our amazing Encouraging Confidence book. Go ahead.
Amazing, thank you. So yeah, if anybody is interested in checking a bit of Wild Dough out, you can find us at just wilddough.com.au. We do sell some internationally countries, so come on and check us out and see what we've got. Shoot us a message if you can't find your country on there. Other than that, I've also been mentoring other handmade, creative business people. So those who might want to be starting their business in the handmade space and just not quite sure where to go. But again, you can reach me through Wild Dough either on any of our socials or hit our website to contact us, or just, at mel.haque on Instagram as well.
Amazing, guys. I'll be the first to order, because I have a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old that has so much energy. I need to put them in one spot. But anywho, thank you everyone for tuning in, especially our amazing supporters, Busa, MMC, Bouillon, the Parenting Emporium, Novo, XOX, SAS, the Wellbeing Boost Program, Kumu, and of course, Lavish. So with that being said, we have reached the end of our show. Thank you so much, Melissa, for all the things you've shared today. And I look forward to meeting you in person, maybe doing a book signing with you in the Philippines, in Melbourne, or in Queensland, wherever we are. I know that we're going to be able to have that amazing beverage together, right?
Let's make it happen. I would love to. Absolutely.
Awesome. And of course, maraming salamat to all our viewers on Kumu. I hope you are deeply inspired by Melissa's journey. And don't forget to follow our social media accounts and turn on the notification bell for the next show of In Love With Me series. Once again, I am Mafe Yunam Velasco, reminding you that you should be loved and be proud of your own story to tell. And finally, actions speak louder than words. And thank you for tuning in this episode of In Love With Me. I'll see you soon, Melissa. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching In Love With Me series.